All right, welcome to the 2023 Women's College Cup Preview Press Conference. We're here with Stanford head coach Paul Ratcliffe. For the media members in attendance, to ask a question of Coach, please use that raise hand function on your Zoom and I'll call on you. But first, Coach, we'll turn it over to you for an opening statement. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay.
I can, yeah.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, very excited to be going to the College Cup. Always an amazing event. Very proud of this team. Worked really hard to earn this opportunity, and we can't wait for the competition. We know it's going to be stiff competition, but we're excited for it and looking forward to a really fun event.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start things off with Greg.
Hey, Coach. Just first up, wasn't too long ago you were seeing BYU in the NCAA tournament, and you've done it multiple times before as well. Maybe just thoughts on the most recent meeting back at Carolina and how you seem to run into each other pretty frequently at this stage of the year.
Yeah, tremendous respect for BYU and what Jen Rockwood has done at BYU for so many years. So I'm always a big admirer of what they're doing. They have an exceptional team, and we know it'll be another difficult game. Last year, we met them in the playoffs, probably too early for both of us, because I thought we both had good squads last year as well. And we unfortunately didn't win with Pete. We lost in PKs, but I thought it was a tremendous game, and we're expecting another very competitive game. So yeah, it'll be a good test for us for sure.
How would you characterize your relationship with Jen over the years and crossing paths and kind of, again, seeing each other pretty frequently?
Yeah, mutual respect, hopefully. I have a ton of respect for Jen and what she's done as a leader in women's soccer, and how she's developed soccer at BYU and around the country. So I'm always very impressed with her as a person. I think she has a great demeanor. She's very professional. So much respect for her. I hope she feels the same way about me, but I definitely respect her a lot, and very happy to see that she's emerged as one of the top teams this year.
And one quick final follow-up. BYU scored 4 goals in 30 minutes the other night, and you've allowed only 10 goals all year. Just kind of facing that kind of attack with what you've pretty much established is one of the best defensive systems in the country.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can score 5 then, right? Because it sounds like BYU is pretty prolific. But yeah, it's going to be a hard game. BYU is very potent in the attack. We're trying to have a good balance of being a good defensive team, but also being potent in the attack. But we'll see how it plays out. But very impressive. The last game to score 4 goals like BYU did obviously shows they have a lot of weapons. So that's going to be a challenge for us to hold them at bay.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Ben.
Hey, Coach, just kind of want to get your kind of looking back at the last few seasons. First time you guys have been here since 2019. Just what was different about this year's team from past couple of years' teams that allowed you guys to get back here again?
Well, I think we have a really strong team right now. I'm very, very happy with the group. For me, after 2019, we were at the highest of highs in 2019, we won the national championship, and then COVID hit and things got difficult. There were a lot of limits on what we were able to do, and that was a difficult time for the team. And I think we finally rebuilt the team again back to not trying to be as good as 2019, even though I think 2019 was just an amazing team. But we're rebuilding back to where we want to be. And I think the team will continue to get better after this year as well. So I'm really excited about the future.
Tamara?
Hi, Coach. Tamara Griffin with The Athletic. Stanford and BYU are both college teams that have NWSL teams expanding into their respective markets next season. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the impact of, what is essentially a return of a women's professional team to the Bay Area has had on your program. I know that a lot of your current players are Bay Area natives, Northern California natives, a lot of players on the West Coast generally. I know the NWSL places a lot of value on giving players opportunities to play at home. Even at Stanford games, I see a lot of MVLA girls showing up, and of course, Albertine Montoya heading up AFC. Just wondering if you can sort of talk about the opportunity to sort of cultivate or bolster a truly like grassroots soccer program in the Bay Area from the club level and now through the professional level, and the impact that that's had on your program, if any.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't be more pleased with the development of a pro team in the Bay Area. We want to help develop women's soccer. And, unfortunately, you get to college and your career kind of dwindles a little bit because it's hard to have those opportunities at the pro level. And that's changing dramatically now. So I'm very pleased to have it in the Bay Area. Albertine Montoya is a really good friend of mine, a fantastic coach in person. I know he's going to do an incredible job. So anything we can do to work together to help develop women's soccer in the Bay Area and around the country, I'm all in. So I'm really pleased. And then, on a personal level for my student athletes, they work so hard to develop their game through their collegiate experience. And then it's great that now they will have more opportunities to play after college and continue to get that experience, because I know they're really passionate about soccer and they would love to have more years of playing. So I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody, and really pleased that's developed.
And then speaking of a Bay Area native who sought out more years to play, I was wondering if you could just talk about Kennedy Wesley and the impact that she's had on the team, from her leadership, both from, a captaincy standpoint to her defensive leadership. It seems that this sort of stability that she provides in the back line allows players like Elise and the outside backs to sort of venture into the attack. So just wondering if you can sort of talk about the contributions and the growth that she's had over her 5 years at Stanford.
Yeah, Kennedy is a phenomenal leader, phenomenal person, great competitor, and just overall exceptional player. Kennedy and Maya Doms are the two players that remain from the 2019 national championship team. So they've had a great experience when they came in as freshmen, and they're now the leaders on our team. And they've really led this team, by example, vocally in all ways, and been so helpful to me as the head coach to help this team, get to the College Cup, which is a great accomplishment in itself. But yeah, Kennedy's the real deal. She's phenomenal. She wins tackles. She plays out of the back. She's developed so much during her time at Stanford, and not just as a soccer player, but I think holistically as a person. She's matured and become one of the best leaders I've ever had at Stanford. So I've been really impressed with her.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Jason?
Hey, Coach. Jason Mastronato from the Mercury News here. I was just wondering, how much of a presence do you think is the memory of Katie Mayer, and how does that kind of impact the girls on this team, in your opinion?
Yeah, Katie is always in our hearts. It's something we're always thinking about. She was the captain of our team, inspirational leader for our team. And a lot of the current players on this team, were best friends with Katie and played with Katie. So there's no doubt, we're always playing in her memory, and her spirit is always with us. Yeah, we definitely love Katie. Her family reached out to me and said, congratulations. They're an amazing family. So yeah, Katie's always with us, no doubt about it.
And after Andrea stepped away for a little bit to focus on her mental health, I was just curious how you felt like you were able to support her through that, and what you've seen from her since she's come back.
Yeah, Andrea did a great job. I think it was very mature of her to step away when she was struggling with the emotion of everything that was going on. It was difficult for all of us, and she did a good job of seeking help. As a coach, obviously, I wanted to give her space and her time, and let her know that I'm here for her if she needs me. But if she needs space, we're 100% committed to giving her space and her time. There's a lot of resources at Stanford to help people through these situations. So I think she took advantage of all the resources and did a great job. And she's having one of her best seasons ever. So I couldn't be more proud of how she's come through this difficult time, and used it as motivation and inspiration to continue to grow as a person, and not just as a soccer player, but as a human being.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we'll go to Ben.
Yeah, you guys, I believe, lost to BYU last year in PKs. If that's if my memory serves correctly. How not to bring up any wounds there, but just from that match, how much can you kind of take from that experience? Do you think? How similar of a team are they? I mean, does it help that you've seen these guys recently as of last year in the tourney, or is it a completely new situation on both ends? Do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, last year was a tough game. I thought we were two really strong teams that probably met too early in the NCAA tournament last year. But we lost in penalty kicks, which is always challenging. But, I have so much respect for Jen Rockwood and what she's done at BYU. They always have a tremendous team, very competitive group, and they have some exceptional players. So it's going to be a real test. But each year you lose your group of seniors and you add a group of freshmen. So the teams do change a little bit in my eyes. So I think it'll be a brand new game. But there's no doubt it'll be a great test for both teams because I think we both have exceptional teams.
And just kind of quickly on PKs, do you guys? I mean, is that something do you guys practice that often, or how does that kind of work? How do you kind of prepare? Do you spend time practicing PKs? How does that work? Because it only comes up in the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we definitely work on. It's important to build the team's confidence if you do go to a penalty kick shootout. The challenging part is, probably the emotion of the game and the nerves in that moment is hard to replicate, but it's definitely something we train. And if we have to go to penalty kicks, we hope we're prepared and we'll do our best to get the victory. But it's something you train and train and train, but it's just difficult in that moment to replicate the emotions and the pressure that you have to deal with.
All right, thank you. Looks like we have time for one or two more. Maybe wants to jump on, or we can let Coach go. All right, Melvin, go for it.
Okay, thank you. Coach, congratulations on making it to the College Cup. This game looks like from the outside that it's a matchup of BYU's high-powered offense versus Stanford's stingy defense. Do you think it's going to turn out that way? Do you agree with that characterization, or how do you think about going into it?
Yeah, I think if you look at the data that you get from the season, it does seem like that. BYU's been very prolific in the goal scoring, and then we've had a pretty strong campaign defensively with how many goals we've conceded. But ultimately, it depends on how the teams match up with each other personnel-wise and how sharp the team is on that day. So, I'm not looking as just an offensive against a defensive battle. I think, hopefully we can bring some potency up front and get some goals. And I'm sure defensively, they're going to be hard to break through on. So I think it's going to be a good game. Last year when we played them, it was a tight game. I believe it was 1-1, and then we went to penalty kicks. So, I expect it to be a really competitive game.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time. I wish you safe travels to Cary and good luck on Friday.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate your time.